The coach, my wife and I are in the midst of a divorce and she's having an affair with a married soccer dad on my daughter's team. My problem is my daughter is best friends with his daughter. I have 99% certainty of the affair. I've never caught them in the act, but I'm not dumb, and both he and she are incredibly nervous I'm going to blow their little secret to smithereens. Amazingly enough, my wife is the one who filed for divorce and has made me look like a monster while carrying on her affair with scumbag. I have had to work nights to make ends meet during our 17-year marriage. He has a wealthy family business, so money was a huge attraction. He basically seduced my kid by taking her everywhere and spending money on her. So, it's probably not a surprise that once my kid was seduced, my wife fell for him as well. I read a quote that I think is true: your character creates your destiny. I had already caught her twice having yêus with other men, so why did I think she would ever stop? That's where I was stupid. But hey, I have 2 kids under the age of 13, so I wanted to protect them from a broken home. Now she filed for divorce and I had to pay $5,000 for an attorney to protect me. I have wondered what to do so many times. Soccer dad knows I know and has run from me like a little dog on more than one occasion when he thought I was coming to confront him. And she gets really nervous when I hint that I might be ready to hit the big red tell-all button. My emotions run from beating the crap out of him and telling his wife, to just letting it go because my wife's a W and soccer dad has the serpent gall to sleep with a married soccer mom. If I go berserk, I run the risk of legal trouble as CA is a no-fault state. I am wondering how many of you would just let karma take its course and watch then implode. Or would you let my wife know in no uncertain terms that I will be telling his wife, who would be shattered, even though I only have 99% certainty? All I can say is I doubt your wife will ever be contrite enough to make you feel safe again. Mine didn't. Even after I had caught her twice before having an yêus, I only stayed in it for the kid's sake. Over the last 5 years since the first yêus, I was always in pain wondering how do I act towards someone I can't trust. To be honest, she died to me after round 1. The wall went up and I never let her back in. If a wife is willing to secretly go and trash her husband to another man while he is busting it to make ends meet, she isn't worth it, even though it hurts really bad to come to grips that your family, as you know it, is dead. I hate divorce and the torment it has brought to me. But in the end, I will heal and she will hell. I will love again, and her character will create her destiny. After I caught my wife having yêus with 2 other men, when she did it this time, she went completely covert. I sensed something was wrong as she began to sleep on the other side of the bed, completely shutting me down, almost hanging off the bed for the last 3 months. And then she began to blow through our money, which I believe was her way of trying to make me file, which I didn't. My evidence of the affair is strongly circumstantial, but it is enough where I know both of them are scared of my suspicions. At this point, I have only told her I know a lot. That has been enough to cause her and him to shudder at the thought of being outed. In her mind, I was always right when I caught her before. So because of that, she has every reason to believe I have irrefutable proof now. However, because I don't have 100%, do you tell the scumbag's wife that I have great suspicion that this affair is going on just to put her on notice so she can begin her investigation? Or do I leave it alone and hop on the karma bus knowing she is on a dead-end street which will eventually lead to destruction? Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I am also concerned about myself that focusing on retribution will cause me to become obsessed about my STBX and slow my healing process and prevent me from moving forward. The divorce isn't final yet, so I was going to wait until it was to start applying maximum heat. My kid is involved with scumbag's family, so I feel as if I need to tell my STBX that I will not keep silent about her deception. I guess my question is, to keep me out of trouble legally, restraining orders, before the divorce has ended. Should I wait till the divorce is final before I move to tell the other man's wife? Comments: the only reason I might consider not telling is because this gives you leverage in the divorce and helps keep her in the fog where being with this guy is a good idea and she's getting what she wants. As you've seen, when she's thinking like that, everything else just doesn't seem to matter all that much and she'll give in more to your wants in the divorce out of some guilt. She obviously isn't thinking long term. I'd still do it through once the divorce is finalized. Once the papers are signed and executed, I'd go to town and wreck her bubble. Go very public with exactly why you are divorcing, and gently inform your daughter so she can make her own decision. Bet she already sees it too that mom spends more time and is better friends with the money guy. As she gets older, she'll really start understanding, and your WW will have a lot of reckoning to do with your daughter once she sees how she and her friendships were used to further her mother's adultery. Teenage girls already have mother issues. This will make it so much worse. This is where you can just be there for her, helping her through that pain of betrayal. OP responds, I only have 99% confidence I'm right about the affair because I have no emails, text messages, or catching her in the act. My evidence is strongly circumstantial. When she left me and filed for divorce, she took the computer, as well as furniture in the house when I wasn't home. As time went on, I finally figured it out that she and him were carrying on the big secret because of her irrational actions, which made it pretty obvious to me what was going on. Also, when I bring up him and her, she never protests with, "What are you talking about? Are you crazy?" She always just shuts up at the mention of me pressing the issue of outing him to his wife. I then get a text message from her later saying what a nice guy I am. Also, the OM has run from my presence many times now that he realizes that I know. They don't know how much I know, but he's good at hiding or escaping when he knows I will be present. I do not know his wife at all, so I am concerned she will not approach this in the right way when informed and merely blow me off as the crazy one. I know my wife has probably told her I'm nuts, and her husband, being so scared, may have already tried to run interference. That's why I'm looking for wisdom. Most people on this post have said, just talk to the wife no matter what, don't worry about the consequences. That makes me a little uncomfortable as I'm not sure what the backlash would be after telling her. I am a believer that what's done in secret will eventually come out, but this mess has cost me a lot. Comments. But seriously, for all those PC folks out there who play by some kind of nice guy rules, what is wrong with blowing up a situation like this? I mean, is being vindictive worse than someone breaking their vows? I am sorry, but people in this world need to be culpable for what they do. Hate me if you like, but scorched earth would work for me just fine. In this case, it is also the right thing to do. Why should cheaters get a free pass? If this happened to me, it would be a lot more than an inconvenience. All things have a cost to them. Yeah, if revenge is in your heart, dig 2 graves. That is fine, but to go out of one's way to be overly meek and accepting of being used is very weak. We should hold people accountable. Exposure is all about the truth. Story 2. I'm 51, married 25 years. Been having typical marriage problems for a couple of years, but usually talked and got through them. I have a ADHD, but only officially diagnosed about 2 years ago and then again this year. So I will admit I can be taxing on my wife. We have a small business. Things haven't been going as well as they were in the past. She's not as involved in the business as me. Kids are older. One in college, one finished. She started going back to school for master's last fall. Reason I went back to get diagnosed this year. Major buildup of angst, both of us. Anyhow, she loses it, tells me she can't go on living with my ups and downs, mood swings, anger, sporadic neglect. She feels like she's going to have a nervous breakdown. We have it out, major argument, she breaks down, starts crying. I completely sense this is different than all the other arguments. I go to hold her and she starts crying even more. We talk, she tells me all she wants is me to hold her, need her, love her, etc. She's really losing it and goes to our bedroom and says she need to take a hot shower. I follow her in. She's naked, of course. I go to hug her, touch her, and she recoils. I feel like I was hit with a 2x4 across the head. I realize how bad she's feeling and how I've been making her feel. Okay, that's the start. We start talking, gets emotional, tell her I love her. I agree to go see a counselor, shrink, and get on some meds for the ad. Next day I happen to see a message on her cell phone from a mutual friend. More messages to other people. Messages about me. About how she's feeling about me. These messages are to her sister, a female friend, and 3 male friends. One of them my friend, attorney, the other 2 men. One from the gym and the other a past teacher of my daughter's who she became friends with. These messages are very personal about me, about us. I get completely confused. What the F is going on? Why is she sharing this stuff with other guys? Anyhow, after many weeks, snooping around her computer, emails, phone, etc., I confront her and she tells me she had to talk to someone. She was lonely. I wasn't listening to her about how she was feeling. She just couldn't get through my wall. I accept it and we start working it out. I ask her not to stop sharing this stuff. She agrees. I keep finding emails. Confront my friend, attorney. Turns out he was just advising her about the marriage. But he and I go at it and the friendship is ended. The guy from the gym was just a guy she met in yoga who turns out had his own marital problem, and he was just a listener. The other one, the teacher. The emails I found were very, let's say, revealing. He was having the same problems with his wife. They met for coffee a few times. He's a writer. Like poetry, interested in a lot of the same things my wife is. Etc. etc. Asked her if she had an affair with him. She said no, he's just a friend who would listen. Asked again. Asked what kind of stuff they discussed. Asked if she would stop. She reluctantly said yes, even though she would be losing a good friend. Okay, I thought, good, got it handled. Found emails a few days later from my wife. Can't not be friends, have to lay low for a while. We went to the counselor, got on meds. She talked about losing a few friends. Counselor told us both he thought we loved each other. Have to work at it, my ad, etc. and that she knows what she did was inappropriate, and that she need to end their relationship. She agrees. I agree. I start really trying, talking, listening, flowers, little notes. She loves it. I keep finding emails. Why are you spying? She stops again. More emails. This went on for 2.5 months. Feb the 15th of May. Things get better. We go on our 25th anniversary. Florida. Have a great time. Come back. More emails. She finally sends him an email saying how this is affecting her relationship with me and how it's causing friction between us. Emails stop. Promises to stop corresponding with him. Won't even respond to him. Counseling continues. I can't get it out of mind. Have this feeling. Sense something is just not right. She's taking summer classes. It's June now and we are never see each other. Things start going downhill. I get more and more bad feelings. Putting everything over the last 4 months. Start asking questions. Go to counselor 2 weeks ago. We have discussion about if I'm happy with myself. Blah blah. Trust. Everything is on the table. He confirms she's truthful about everything. Hell. He almost even convinces me. We go home. She says it was a real good meeting. Last Thursday I work from home. Go get something from the kitchen and walk past the computer. Just had a feeling. Tried not to. But went on her history and guess what I found? She was using an email address. She says, I never used that email, and guess who she was talking to again? Oh yeah, the teacher. I get all crazy, but clam down and calmly confront her about it. We were drinking wine on the patio when I did. She gets all pissed, admits she had an emotional affair with him. Admits she lied to me and the counselor. Apparently, it started as friends. Emotional got heavy early spring of last year. He started getting feelings for her. She got worried and stopped talking. Then started up again in summer of last year, continuing with the emotional affair until February. Even wrote about it in her journal. About a fantasy she knew she couldn't have, but wondered how it would be. She says that it was only emotional, nothing happened. Physical, that is. I remember seeing an email exchange from them and she was saying how she'd have to stop being friends even though nothing happened, and he replied, nothing happened. Of course, she says that she didn't tell me because she knew I would go crazy and I wouldn't forgive her and always hold it against her. Now she wants to start over. I love her, but I am completely hurt, confused and still not sure. Nothing physical happened. Planned it out yesterday. I scheduled a session with our counselor on Wed. I want to see how she reacts with him, but I didn't want to do anything until then. Don't know if she'll close up if she sees I'm getting into his head. I've been checking things. Phone yes, email yes, haven't found anything on the credit card yet. I was gone for a weekend of January before everything happened. Found long phone calls back and forth on a Saturday evening. Asked her about it a while back and said she was alone. But now I don't know what to believe. I have a number of questions for her and want to ask and re-ask at the counselor session. Wondering how to approach that then. I'm sure she will apologize to him when we are there. I'm obviously new to this, so I'm all over the place. We had a good weekend. Went out for dinner to a place where we'd go to a lot when we were dating. She was really into it. But this morning we got intimate. She could tell I was thinking about something and I asked her how it felt when she would share emotions with him and then get intimate with me. That did not go over too well. She started to tear up. I think she just wants me to forget it, trust her and work on us. Yeah, that's easy to do, right? The logic is what's driving me crazy. There was an email, back when this first started, that I discovered. She was emailing him while we're at a bookstore together. The same one she met him at once or twice. We were at different sections of the bookstore. It said something like this: suck, wish you were here. Miss you, can't remember if it said love you too. But it has to be this way. When I asked her about it, she said it didn't mean anything. She told me she loves all of her friends. She is pretty deep that way, that they were just looking at books together. But I just can't accept that. She keeps saying that it just happened. She wasn't looking for this. That if it weren't for my ad and neglecting her and not respecting her, it wouldn't have happened. I feel like I should bring this all up again at the counselor session. Not sure what the duck to do. She suspected something. So did I. Ad wasn't that talked about back then, and especially when I was a young kid. I always knew something was going on, so I adapted. Adapted pretty well over the years. We talked about it, but we didn't really know what it was, and we both adapted to it. I think she just got fed up with that, not having to be a full-time mom anymore. Losing interest in really my business, etc. Then she started finding herself. Getting more confident in herself. When things got tough with the business, I got focused on that and probably did neglect her and took some things out on her. I just couldn't understand why she didn't want to be more involved, especially after at least 2 or 3 times discussing that maybe she should do something else. She always said we didn't have the finances for that. But amazing how we have the money now for grad school. I will bring it up. I need to have the truth, a clean plate first, then maybe we can start to see if we can work at this. She needs to completely come clean too, not just for me, but for herself. I really don't want to go through this 2 years from now again. Have to say I'm pretty devastated right now. Found some very recent deleted emails. She told him she admitted to me that she had an emotional affair and that she told me that she stopped, but she really didn't. Something about still trying to be friends, but it looks like it will only be in her heart. He responded about this being some sort of ploy all along. She said no, that she just let her feeling go in a direction she shouldn't have. She said she hurt me, him, his wife, blah, blah. I'm more inclined to believe that there was physical action now because she has admitted a few things, but just can't bring herself to tell me everything. She sent him an email last week about having a dream about him and a few other exchanges. She told me she sent him an email to say she won't be contacting him again. Yeah, that's the 4th time since this all began back in Feb. She does not know that I know this new stuff today. I don't know if I can wait until the counselor session to confront her with all this. I want to contact his wife as well, but I feel that if I confront today, without the counselor being present, she will get off a message to him. Have to stay cool, try to calm down and get some work done. Any ideas would help. Wish I found this site back when it all started. I want to get this out there and have her talk about it. She won't by just me letting this BS continue talking to the counselor and how this all started because I was neglecting her. Add and all that, lying, waiting for her to come to her senses. Maybe I was a jerk sometimes, made her feel bad. Okay, I admit it. I want to work at it, but I never ducking thought about going to someone else. Being with someone else. I know I need to see how she plays it at the counselor, but I want to hit it right there and get it out there. I control the phone. I can turn it off on the account that day and then inform the wife after our meeting. Believe me, I have no ducking problem confronting him or her. From what I can tell from emails, he is an emotional wreck and she's got him wrapped. When I tell her, he'll be too busy trying to explain his way out to be worried about contacting my wife. Plus, not going to reveal I seen her exchanges. I am calm, took everyone's advice, worked out, then had 2 beers. Okay, I have uncovered more emails, more evidence. Here is my plan. I have a very strong relationship with her parents and they have been through this with their other daughter. Runs in the family, I guess. I was searching last night in my head, who can I trust, who would be most upset? Her parents, mostly her father. I will go talk to them today and let them I need them to help us with our marriage and ask them to not say anything to anyone for the next day or 2. I know I can convince them. I do have a backup plan for some miracle they don't. I will suspend my WW phone service if I get the feeling that they are not with me. I will sabotage our internet, phone service at home. I'm a teledata guy and I know how to do it with no one suspecting. Tomorrow, a few hours before our counseling, I will drop off an expose letter to the OMW. I know what you're thinking, just keep reading. At the counseling session I know she will bring up that she lied to the MC. She apologizes and say something about the recent emails. He'll say his SH tick and then I'll say thanks for doing that. But can you tell me what the emails were about? She says something about she was glad to see he was writing again and just wanted to touch base. I'll let her talk, I and the MC will listen. If she doesn't reveal the true nature of her emails and the intense longing, feeling, dreams, etc., I will just let her go. The MC and I will let him do it. We'll ask how we believe you from here on out. She'll say here typical bull crap and we'll all agree to going on from here. I'll say thanks for the great session and we'll go to the car. Remember, OMW will know by now. I will include copies of emails for her. In the car I will present her with the exposed letter, telling her I can't trust her because she is lying continuously. I was going to give copies off the emails to the parents and of course to the OMW to solidify my position. I think if I have the phone cut off, no phone at home and no email, they won't be able to contact her. Neither will the OMW or OM, maybe just the cell phone and our home phone and leave the internet available. Cause I'm monitoring it. This is some of her emails. Dreamed of you the other night. The words to that song spinning, because I could have written them. Tough afternoon yesterday. Found a chair in my favorite corner. My favorite kind of chair. Heavy, oak, transplanted from a library. Like it was placed there for me. Sat, staring through the spines of the books at eye level. Pulled a few off, paged through thinking. Had you sat in this chair? Had you touched these books? Then this from him. What was the dream about? I was thinking about you this morning. Wish we could talk at least once. Where's this chair? University. And this? Can we meet at Books A Million tonight by chance? I also found some suspicious receipts at a restaurant and a coffee shop. I don't know about you guys, but the talk about if he touched the books, sat in the chair. You don't say things like that about a friend. This all started because she felt I was neglecting her. Acting like a jerk, she was expanding. I was doing the same things. Like I said, she felt things had to change because of not coping with my ADD. The business, etc. She felt like she had to do that exposure to me back in January. And yes, I did need to be woken up on that. And boy was I. Only after it happened I found out she was sharing deep things about our relationship with others and the OM. Then I started digging, but I was so knocked down by her exposure that I was too stupid to see what was going on. I found emails, like I said, describing how she missed him, his touch. even found passages in her journal talking about how she wanted to feel what it was like, and more. A long email from him about why and what men feel about bonding, and that email started out with this line from the OM. "This is a hard email to write. Don't feel like this is a Dear John letter." Because it isn't. She had hoodwinked. She told me she needed to share things because I wouldn't listen. If you'd listen, I wouldn't need to go to others. She said, "Okay, John, what do you want me to do? Not talk to him anymore? Not be friends with him anymore?" And I said, yeah, that would be a start, especially since we were working on our marriage and started going to a MC shrink. She said, "Fine, I'll do it for you." That lasted for less than a week, with more emails about me from her to him. Wow. What 2 sessions at the MC and some meds will do, then more emailing. Even a secret meeting at the library after she told him I would be at work. She told me all kinds of BS, but just that it was because how I was acting. Also, just found this on her email cloud that she has him listed as the only one to view and edit. You should be getting another email in a short while, if you want to begin reading, because it is a lot. You should begin with the notebook 1 and then follow with 2 and 3. That should keep you busy for a while. I hope you are well and not too hungover from last night. I am sending you my best thoughts and energy. She never told me about this. Now I'm getting ticked off. I know I don't have the smoking gun about the PA yet, but this is having been going on for 6 months and I have had this funny feeling a lot of the time. But that's when she pretends to be closer to me and I feel, okay, I must be imagining things. I let it go, try and be a better husband, actually like going to the MC, and then I find the new stuff, and that she's lying to the MC and that she'll be sure to tell her parents about the yeah. Sure, I know my wife. This guy turns her artistic mind into mush and she feels high. I also know what happens when she drinks, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to let this go any further. I plan on telling her parents before the MC session, but after I've shut her phone down. I would like to expose her at home after the MC, giving her the chance to come clean and tell the truth at the MC. If she doesn't, I will assess the situation at the MEC and have the exposed letter ready. Either there or at home. When we get home, our son will be there and the latter will be more daunting to her. If she tries to avoid, I'll say, "I know you're upset, but if you don't want to face this, maybe our son should read some of these emails. Would that be okay?" I will be cooler than cool. Either way, son is obviously going to find out if after I give her the letter and she starts the denials. I cannot tell my children. When everything went down in March, I sat the whole family down, talked about how the ADD was affecting me, how it made me put up walls and defenses, made me difficult at times, why I treated their mother poorly at times, all of it. I did it in front of her parents and sisters too. I did it because I wanted to make myself better, our marriage better, and our family better. And all the time, even for up to 6 to 7 months before, she was having an EA. Most likely a physical affair. At least they tried it once, probably more. Go back a few posts about the night out in last year. Maybe that's why she recoiled the night I tried to console her in the shower. She still is obviously in some kind of high euphoria, and when I didn't go crazy that night and told her if you don't like it the door is always open, like she thought I was going to, she probably felt a certain amount of guilt. Maybe that's why she decided to go in the shower the first place. She wrote about that same thing happening to a fictional character she was writing about in a story book. I even found a text to her sister proclaiming that the book was in essence about me and her. Once the exposure happens, unless she comes completely clean about it, reveals their passionate emails, their meetings, why she thinks and feels about his touch, where he sat, what books he's touched, and I mean completely, I have to expose her with the letter. By then the OMW will know, her parents will know, a couple of close friends. I have to end this now and see where it goes from there. MC session was interesting. MC asked how everything was going. 5 seconds of silence, and then I started by saying things are going pretty well. We had a great weekend. I'm feeling great about myself, strong, confident, and that things seem to be moving along well in the marriage. She looked at me with the confused look and said, "This past weekend, you mean?" I replied, "Yeah, don't you think it was good? We went to some of our old hangouts when we were younger, dating." And then she got silent. Room got quiet and MC was waiting. Basically, she told him she hadn't been honest with a lot over the last few months and it just kept spiraling down from there and I just kept listening. She told him about admitting to me last week that she had an E with the other man, that it started as a relationship with the other man and they both started sharing their marital problems and emotions with each other and it developed more and more stronger. Some stronger attraction feelings started developing and she backed off. But then they kept communicating by email, text, clouds, that they had similar interests and that she was getting attention from him that she wasn't from the me. Marriage. I was cool and every once in a while interjected a really and a few shrugs, etc. Apparently, she's been feeling very bad about it for a while. Feeling bad as a person, that she knew it wasn't right, some guilt, but that she had confusion about how she felt about me. About how things would progress since our event about me and the ADHD back in February. The MC asked more questions, and she started cracking and crying. More about how she knew it was stupid to continue replying to his emails even after she told me she would stop. It went back and forth with the MC, who I like and think is very smart, good guy. She said she felt good to see a change in me, but then she felt I was reverting to my walls, defenses, etc. I said calmly, yes, I felt stronger. Better at first too, stronger, better about myself, the marriage, her, etc. But that I felt she was hiding something, and that made me question everything. Every time she tried to brush off the relationship with the other man as friends, but I saw things, messages, emails that showed otherwise, that I felt she was lying, and so I needed to protect myself and find out what the hell was going on. I stated to her and the MC that I'm glad that you understand that this is not right and you feel bad and it's going to end. But quite frankly, you've lied to me. To the MC, and you tell me what it is about this time that I should surrender myself and believe you again. How do I know you're not lying about the intensity of and was there more? The MC looked at me and started coaching me to be demanding, but gentle. I think he knew where I was going. She started crying again, looked me in the face and said nothing physical happened, nothing like that. She said maybe she gave him a hug or two when they met a few times at the coffee bookstore. I said, well then it doesn't add up. Why would you describe feelings about touching books he might have touched or pages he might have read if you didn't touch him? Him touch you? She said never, never. It was just their equal feelings towards literature and how badly they felt for each other, going lonely feelings in their marriages want me to feel. The MC offered up that new people who would never think of doing something like this. Caught up in this. Having inappropriate relationships, emotional affair, are novices. They do stupid stuff and let themselves get caught in the strange, exciting feeling. And it went on. But I reiterated many times that I might have added friction to our marriage, but I did not have anything to do with her decision to get emotionally involved with another man. It ended up being a 2.5-hour session and think it was a step in the right direction. I said she needed to write the NC letter and I would have input in it. I said that everything needs to be in the open, transparent, and that OMW has to know. MC said that might not be a paper that you want the other man to have just in case he decides to get back at her. Get even, and WW said she sent him the email ending it and she agreed with MC. I said bull crap. Quite frankly, you guys have secretly been emailing and he can just delete it and sweep it under the rug and keep thinking anything he wants. To end it, there has to be something substantial. A hit, evidence, or it won't prove to him and to his wife that it's over. Plus, you can write it in a way that you can protect yourself but still get the point across. She agreed. We left and went driving, went to a park. She needed to take a deep breath, regain herself, and just wanted to sit and talk, of course with the VAR in the car. Same stuff, only got into more personal items, feelings, crying, yelling that she feels like crap, she's a ducking bad person, yelling that I'm right. I'm always right, that I have all the integrity. And she's made another bad mistake in her life. I was calm and spoke. I know you're upset, Jane. I am too. She kept crying and told me nothing physical happened. I said good, I'm glad to hear it, but I know you're upset now. That she wants to put this in the past and start fixing and working at us. I gave her my letter, even though I thought the MC session turned out pretty well. I wanted her to read it, to underline how I felt and what I am prepared to do. She read it, felt it. I think she understands. Like I said, it's a good start. I'm relieved to some extent that she felt enough pain to come clean, for now. But I will not let my guard down. We are writing the NC tonight. I didn't even have to really reveal any of my evidence. I did call her very good friend. Her parents, although they weren't home, so I just left a message to call me. I did have her phone calls forwarded, and boy, that really screwed up her parents, because guess who they called back first? Yup, her. Anyhow, the friend was very understanding but asked me if she might WW told me or if I found out on my own. I said, I know she loves you and that's why I called, and I don't really want to get into specifics. But all I'll say to you is yes and yes. I am hoping and praying that I did get the real answers and that it's not just another ploy. I really do want my marriage back and I want to work at it with her. But I'm not going to let my guard down, thanks to all of you. I have all my guards in place. My comment: 20-year marriage affair. Can you recover after an affair occurring in a long-term relationship? I think it will take a lot for that to happen. Hope you guys like these 2 short ones. I'm preparing for a long one. So